I'm Kathleen Zellner. I think that everybody's smile is a really important connection that they have with the world. It's a way that you interact with people. And I think my experience with Dr. Lotting in changing and improving my smile, particularly in the kind of work I do, was a critical factor in my success in a lot of situations. I think I was able to convey empathy and friendliness. People would approach me, and I attribute a lot of that to physical appearance, particularly a smile, because more than anything, a smile tells you if someone's approachable, if they're empathetic. Just you get a sense about someone's spirit, I think, from their smile. The biggest change for me in coming to Smile for Life was, it was the first time I had ever experienced really just wanting to go to the dentist and enjoying it. I always look forward to coming in because the staff is so incredibly well trained, and it's clear that there's a philosophy that's reached all of them, that they realize they're not just there to perform the mechanical functions, but they're there to try to connect with the patient. And I think that that's been accomplished in a way. There's almost no other business I've ever walked into where I think the staff is as well trained as they are here. And I think it's sincere. I think everybody believes what they're doing is the correct way to treat people. And I think that comes back to you then from the patient. So it sounds odd to say it, but I always loved coming here, because you always felt better when you left. And who would ever say that about going to a dentist? But I think it's true. I think what happens, I think organizations fail, whether it be a municipality or an office, because of lack of leadership at the top. I think when people sense that the people running an organization are just self-centered or self-serving, it destroys that feeling that people have that they're working towards a common goal. So, I think here at Smile for Life or in my law offices, the reason I've been able to achieve the results I've gotten, and I think it applies to Dr. Lotting achieving his results, is I have the support of people that know that I'm not motivated by just being self-centered, that we have a higher purpose in what we're doing. And I think it's amazing that when you give people that opportunity, they will rise to the occasion. I mean, I'm extremely optimistic about human beings if they're in the right environment. So I think the organizations where that doesn't occur, it comes from the leadership failing. It's just like in a political system with failed leadership. It's every man for himself, every woman for herself. And it destroys an organization, I think, having that attitude. So it seems subtle, the philosophy, but it's the most important thing in an organization. It's the leadership, it's the values of the person at the top. I think that's key. I think that it's just a really outstanding organization. I think the Smile for Life team has this philosophy of basic just kindness and really looking out for the patient's well-being. It should be implemented in every hospital and every healthcare facility. I think people would do a lot better if they had that kind of environment where they sought medical care or dental care. I think it's really important to have that feeling when you come into somewhere like a dentist office where it could be uncomfortable or you might be somewhat fearful. I think it's hugely important to have the staff so well attuned to those needs of the patient. And I think it's unique. I think this place is completely unique. I mean, the message I would convey is anybody who's, thought about having some dental procedure or something they might have hesitated to do just out of fear or not being comfortable, they should come to Smile for Life. And because I remember my first experience, and what I was struck with was all the effort that was made to make it as painless and comfortable and really enjoyable as possible. And So I guess the message I would convey is that somebody out there who might listen to this or watch this should give Smile for Life a call and come in and see what it's about, because you can feel it when you walk in the door. You can feel the attitude. I mean, I have yet to encounter somebody here. There's no rotten apple in the barrel. I have not encountered anybody that doesn't have a great attitude. So